See, I know it's kind of, well, I'll say it like this: the people on the replay will hear this because there's nobody in here yet. And usually give it to what, maybe a minute or two to really start going into something till someone comes up in here. But to those that's catching the replay right now, we got King Rychus. You see what the thumbnail says. It's modern day slavery. A lot of people think, oh, well, slavery's been abolished, and it's not like going on back in like the 1800s and earlier time periods, but you be sadly mistaken. It is still live and active, and Righteous is gonna touch on this particular topic. That's really it's like it ain't going nowhere. It's right here. We living it every day.
Right. In actuality, it's still, slavery is still in effect.
Mm-hmm.
Slavery really hasn't been abolished. And when Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, what was that, 1875 or 76? I take it. He never really intended to free the slaves.
Right.
Because I heard, from what I learned, that in his memoirs, he wrote, if the slaves were to be freed, he wanted to see the whites in a superior position.
Right.
And but he never really wanted to free them.
Right.
And basically, he didn't have a choice because it was the Confederate States, who wanted to, keep free labor.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the northern states, the 13 colonies, who had the more industrious, and but they were trying to free themselves from the Union, I believe, from Britain.
Right.
They were trying to break away from that. So in order to free themselves from the Union, they had to free up those states.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what was in Lincoln's memoirs, that he would rather, break that, the Confederate states up so they can free, the 13 colonies from from the British,
right,
and then unite the states. But he never really wanted to free slaves. So when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation and promised us 40 acres and a mule, of course we know the outcome of that. Lincoln was assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We never received nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So so a few thousand of us was freed from the southern states and Confederate states, and but the majority of us remained in the South. All of us didn't migrate north and up through to Illinois, land of Lincoln, and out west. The majority of us stayed in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and those places. The masses of us. Because we like, where we gonna go? What we gonna do? We ain't got nothing.
Let me interject. J-Mo said, Wikipedia says Emancipation Proclamation was issued on January 1st, 1863.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we never received our reparations, our 40 acres and a mule. You know what I'm saying? We went to these states. We ended up in the quote unquote ghettos of America.
Right.
And then we went through Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm.
The civil rights movement.
Right.
And it's like that was a form of slavery in itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then they started this thing with after the civil rights movement, they filled our community with drugs and whatnot. And through the Nixon era and the Reagan era, and the
Don said sharecropping. He said
right.
they gave that to white folks after the Emancipation
no
Proclamation, not us.
Yeah, right. What they promised us, we didn't get. The European immigrants got what we were supposed to get. Our ancestors, our forefathers and foremothers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why you see them on top, having a higher, income wage, and the blacks on, the lower end,
Right, because they profit
Yeah.
from generational wealth.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what you call white privilege. Okay. Right, in the society, because the system was designed to keep us in the back, or second class.
Right.
Second class is they never intended to make us citizens. You see, that's why they call us the minorities.
Right. I even heard it's bad to be called African American.
Of course, because we're not. You know, that's just a class act. You know what I'm saying, to keep us in a certain place. You see, right? You know.
Now, J-Mo said whites also claim to be Cherokee Nation and got reparations.
Yeah, right. They stole everyone's birthrights. Actually, there's people who call themselves Jews and aren't Jews. Okay, they call themselves Jewish people. That's because they wish they were the real Jews. You know, but they're not the real Jews. The real Jews.
I never heard that take on it before. How you said that.
Yeah, but you know that's their term, Jewish. You know, they don't call themselves Hebrews because they know the original. Because Jew is just short for Judah, which the tribe of Judah was black. Those were the Hebrews came from.
Okay.
Which were the black tribe. Okay, and they usurped the Europeans, the Ashkenazis, and the Sephardians usurped that history of the blacks, the Hebrews.
Okay.
From the tribe of Judah. That's why they call themselves Jewish, because they wish they were the real Jews, but they stole the birthright. But that's another topic for another time. And
he said now they're taking over Palestine.
Oh, they've been took over Palestine. Yeah, or that Israel, what they call Israel. They did that in 1949. You know, when they signed that pact. You know, after World War II and all that, took place. That's when they took over Palestine. And so they've been having a foothold or a grip on it ever since.
He said now trying to take over Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's the last stronghold. Once they get Jerusalem, they really got, Palestine, sold up. And that's what the battle really been, is about that holy site where they say it's Jesus' burial or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's really been the real battle for that. But even though the Israelis occupy that land, and the Palestinians is really suffering over there. Little do we know.
Yeah, he said Hitler sent them to Palestine.
Yep. True indeed.
Man, I'm dropping some science up on here. I like that.
So so after, like I said, once they pushed the drugs into our communities, then they started the war on drugs. That really was the war on blacks.
Right, after the Panthers fell and everything.
After they destroyed our movements and whatnot. So the war on drugs was really the war on the black man. And they created all these laws, and whatnot. What are the RICO laws and then the Clinton era.
Yeah, the three strikes and everything.
Oh, come on, man. And then from that cycle alone, from that period, from then to now, that's when they've been pumping us into the prison industrial system. The prisons have become big business now.
Right.
Okay.
And matter of fact, those welfare laws came into effect too. If you ain't paying your child support, we revoke your license. Then that's stopping people from trying to work and getting a job or whatever.
If you can't pay your restitution, where do you end up? They lock you up.
Right.
So it's big business. So there's a lot of information out here. If y'all want to look more into it, learn about the prison industrial system.
You said the crime bill.
Yep, or the new Jim Crow, what they call it, or our sister Michelle Alexander got this book called The New Jim Crow, talking about the prison industrial complex.
Right.
So, and it's just they just pulling the wool over our eyes. We thinking we're free, or this is a post, racial America, but it's really more systematic racism happening in this country than we can even imagine.
Right.
Because we're living in this fantasy world, what I'm saying, what we think.
Yeah, thinking it's democracy when it's actually a republic.
And it's all sport and play. We're all caught up in sport and play and, this entertainment and whatnot, and we just being hoodwinked, we're being bamboozled out here,
Right.
And we don't.
Run amok.
Yeah. And we just really, asleep. And we need to wake up.
Yeah, because like we was speaking on earlier, the way that it's still transpiring. We done had so many shootings and killings in the last few days. I mean, I know, I'm quite sure everybody got that going on in
all cities,
all
yeah.
cities and
Yeah.
stuff, inner
Yeah.
cities.
Well, that could, that could stem from a lot, man. Economic, repression,
Mhm.
lack of resources in the community.
Right.
Especially in Chicago, from what I hear,
Mhm.
they're taking out, a lot of the jobs and a lot of, the community centers. That's happening all over.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They take these fundings out of the black communities, but go downtown. You got
Right.
you got a brand new Major League Baseball stadium,
Yep.
basketball stadium, brand new football. You feel me?
Right.
Back downtown is booming. They'll turn the parking lots into Marriott's,
Lofts, and all kind of stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Turn motels into big grand, hotels. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the resources aren't there, and then we're economically deprived. We already know there's no social clubs, so even for our generation, there's no real social clubs around here where we can just go and just
fellowship.
And politic and and network. No, they took all that away.
Right.
And once upon a time there was.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing for us, so imagine what they're leaving for the youth. I drive through downtown, on the weekends, sometimes around, after, hours.
Yeah, after hours.
They out there. The youngsters is on the streets.
Right.
I'm like at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, damn, what's going on?
Right.
It ain't nothing down there for them.
Right.
It's not like when I was a kid, when they had the Pops Arcade and Schindler's Bookstore, all different, the pool halls.
Yeah, the pool halls, the billiard places.
It was all different little things that if you had a few dollars, $20, you can go and do something as a youth, as a youngster. But now, man, you're going to have $100 at least to even just go up in a joint.
Right.
You feel me? Just
and
go up in one of
your dress code better be fitting, because
otherwise you're not getting in.
Right.
You're still going to be on the curb.
Right.
So it's a lot of systematic, systemic racism that's taking place that's really keeping us out of their social equality. Keeping us on the outside, so to speak.
Right.
So that's why you see us on the curb.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We see the ones that done gave up, the older heads. I drive past them on the bus stops. 4 or 5, brothers or, even some sisters.
That too.
Out there trying to get a drink or, that just really like, hey, And
then down just said gentrification too.
Oh, ain't no question. Most definitely. That's one of the most, important, thing that they have done. They're trying to replace us with another group of people.
Right.
The new minorities are the Africans.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. They brought these Somalians here to replace us.
Right.
Okay. The Mexicans replace us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, they push us out of our communities and they brought them in.
Right.
Okay. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people think they're getting the upper hand. Well, they want us to move out to the suburbs. That should be good. No, that's not good.
No, that's a downfall, actually, because all the actions in the urban areas, in the cities. So they know they push you out to the suburbs, and you can't get back. The transportation is not as, up to par like it is in cities. So you can't get back to the cities.
Okay, now Don said, but the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, separate and do for self.
Okay. That sounds good. Teach his own. Cause separation could just necessarily mean, okay, we can separate from.
Because he said they don't like us. That's what I guess.
Right.
Is
yeah.
saying.
History proves that. But what I'm saying, as far as us, living in this society and become economic sufficient, because if you check our history, man, we've always been a sufficient people, even under segregation, under slavery.
Right.
We made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even when we was in the fields, we enjoyed ourselves. We had our little section or whatever. We had our little juke joints and whatnot. On the segregation, we had our own communities, we had our own businesses. Okay, you can check the history.
So I think this will be a better question. Remember when you said about when Martin Luther King, before he was killed, essentially it's like he got to speaking different, saying
Right.
I think
Right. He think he's integrating his people into a burning house.
Right,
That's what
right.
he told Harry Belafonte.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And actually, he's in that movie. I don't know. Did you check out New Klansman?
No,
Black
I
Klansman?
haven't got it. I
Yeah,
gotta
but
check
Harry
it out.
Belafonte is in that movie, and he does some speaking also. It's pretty good. It's informative. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So I would recommend y'all to go see Spike Lee's joint. The Black Klansman.
Hmm.
Because it's informative about some history.
But I know bro done said something about being a devil's advocate. People been saying things about Spike Lee, saying he was working with a New York Police Department and things.
Doing what?
I guess advertising. I'm not. If someone knows what I'm talking about with Spike Lee, I know it's been some controversy saying he was working with the police department. I don't know if it was about some advertisement on billboards for some particular thing, but it's something that recently that done came out. So I don't want to totally throw him under, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not look into that.
Yeah.
But what I'll say about Spike Lee, you just gotta check his record, man. His record speaks for itself.
Okay.
Spike Lee is really a stand-up dude. From what I've known, I learned of him since I, first seen "Do the Right Thing."
Yeah,
that
Do the
really
Right Thing.
woke me up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
89.
But he spoke out against Trump. He calls him Agent Orange. He don't say his name, and he Trump. He said some real shit about Trump because after in North Carolina when the racists went out there,
right,
and he didn't speak out. So Spike really called him out on that. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything too negative about Spike except when he made Malcolm X. Dealing with the Nation of Islam. Minister Farrakhan felt the information wasn't correct. You know what I'm saying? To that degree. But other than that, I'm like, Spike, he put something out there, to make us think.
Right.
Because a lot of us didn't know about Malcolm X. Didn't know about the Nation.
True, because they wasn't trying to teach that in school.
Exactly. And so Spike did a positive thing when he put that movie out.
Right.
Even though the information wasn't all right and exact or 100, but he helped us become more aware and more conscious.
Right.
Just by doing what he does. He did.
Now, you got a few comments that came in. Bro said, I have to be devil's advocate. I work with Mexicans, and they work with a better work ethic than us blacks. I had to tell brothers before to get off the phone constantly when working. Mexicans just work.
Well, that's now, man. I mean, that's all good. I mean, they gonna work. They're gonna work to take care of their families and do what they gotta do.
Right.
But
essentially, they got their own country.
Yeah. You took the words right. But just in saying that, I mean, we can't. That's like comparing apples to oranges. Okay.
Now, when you say that, I mean,
okay. Yeah. So when I, because you can't compare us to the Mexicans, because like you just said, they got their names. They know their original names, their language. They speak their own language.
And
they got a culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got a customs. Majority of them Catholics. You know what I'm saying? They, Hail Mary or whatever. And they got a country. They got a flag.
Right.
See, let's not forget, America, half of America once was Mexico.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, before the Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even so much about work ethics, you know what I'm saying? Because we've been here, our foremothers been in this country for 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked us for free for 379 years.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From can't see in the morning to can't see at night for no pay.
Huh.
Okay? So we talking about work ethics. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard the minister say at one point, there was a time back in the day you couldn't find a white person with a tool or a mop or a broom because they wasn't the workers.
Okay.
We were. Okay.
Now, Don Ye came in and he said, separate doesn't mean everybody moved to California. He said the Asians are not a part of society on the political front or education.
Right.
Yet they are more successful.
Right.
And he said burning house. I guess he was talking about when talking about MLK. Yeah, they rolling in.
But But in saying that, man, it's just like, right, as far as freedom and independence,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we got to become free and independent thinkers
Yeah,
first.
mentally,
Mentally, yeah, we got,
spiritually,
and politically.
that
I'm saying?
too.
We don't have no one really representing us.
Not at all.
Okay, when Barack got in office, yeah, it was, it was a good look.
Yeah, that's like
But he didn't really represent.
veneers,
Yeah,
veneer teeth.
yeah, he was a good window dresser.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For the corporation. You know what I'm saying? For the department store. But he didn't do nothing for us.
Right.
Okay, and that's a fact. Check, he didn't do nothing for black folks. You know what I'm saying? His 8 years of being in office. It's to but tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps.
Yeah.
Okay, So, but anyway, I understand. I didn't expect him to be the black president. The black, folks president. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, he's not that. Now, speaking on the term African American that you mentioned that was Barack Obama. He's a true African American. Because if you look up the definition of American was only defined as those that was in the 13 colonies.
Right.
And those that wasn't indigenous. The people that wasn't indigenous or aboriginals was not Americans. It was only those people that was of the 13 colonies, and that was the Europeans.
Okay.
The English or the Dutch, whoever was in those colonies.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's what a real true quote unquote American was supposed to be, was a European. Those that came here. That was in those colonies. But and as far as African, and Barack himself, his father was African, his mother was European.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a true definition of what an African American was. Okay, because he's part African and part, European.
Yeah. Now, okay, let me catch up with these comments. Bro said Asians are more successful because they value education. Their kids learn the system. Most Asians own their own business. Us blacks just want to get paid by a white company. Then Don, I guess, is talking with Bro, said they come here and begin being better servants and citizens than us. They create a platform for themselves. And then Bro said, also Asians spend money in Asian areas first. Blacks, we spend money everywhere else first, and go to black instead of going to black businesses. And then Anthony came in. He said Spike spoke about gentrification in New York.
Who's Spike Moss?
No, he's talking about Spike
Lee. Yeah.
And then Don said exactly. They're not a part of the society. They do their own thing. I guess he's talking about Asians.
Well, we can't. We can't just throw mud on us, man. We can't just keep, saying that we're not this and we're not that. If you understand what what has happened to us, and what we,
Well, let me say it like this: what do you think would have happened if? I done covered this in other streams. What do you think would have happened if Farrakhan actually got that money to start a black state?
Well,
back in, was it 95? I want to say that was.
Well, Farrakhan was just basically did what he'd been doing, building, the nation, or trying to get land, and farm stuff or whatnot.
Yeah.
But as far as that concerned, he started the power movement. People organized, working for economic rebirth. Where he had our own lotions and soaps and whatnot. That's just, man. To be honest, just coming from my perspective, from studying the nation, these last 30 years, and from what I see as far as the progress, yes, he got the businesses back from what Elijah Muhammad had lost. What the nation had lost. He got a lot of that stuff, the farmland, the National House, the Mos Mariam, he got a lot of this stuff, the Salon Restaurant, the Final Call Administration Building and whatnot. So he got a lot of this stuff back. So as far as if he had this money, who knows what he would do?
Yeah. Right.
I can't say.
But this is another thing I want to elaborate. Okay, at Aretha Franklin's funeral, it was what? It was Jesse Jackson, was Al Sharpton, Minister Farrakhan, and Bill Clinton.
Right.
Everybody else got to speak except Farrakhan.
Well, actually, Farrakhan didn't want to speak.
Oh, okay.
Right. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got from one of the brothers.
Yeah.
He asked the family could he come, and he said he wasn't planning on speaking.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that was by, choice.
Choice.
He didn't want to speak, and little people know, he paid for it. He paid for that funeral. Yeah. See, and look how he sat through. And I heard he sat through the whole ceremony from the beginning to the end. Right. He wasn't tripping. Right. That's how humble he is. He spoke even when he didn't speak. And the reason I say that, because the man of his stature and his character, his presence alone spoke. Just like you just said. You acknowledge.
Yeah.
The minister was there, but he didn't speak. But just by acknowledging his presence, he spoke. Yeah, right. You feel me? Yeah, he spoke loud and clear. But do we know that after? Did you know that after it was over, he told the brothers to pass out? He got final calls with Aretha in tribute to Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, I remember
50,000. He said 50,000. Give them away. He didn't sell them. He said give away. I want y'all to give away. He told the Fruit of Islam to give away 50,000. Editions of the final call newspapers. With the tribute, to Aretha Franklin.
Right.
And then that happened. Then they raised it to 60, to 70,000, until eventually they ended up giving out 90,000 newspapers in tribute to Aretha Franklin in Detroit, Michigan. Right. So you tell me now who spoke. You feel me?
Right. And this is some information you ain't gonna catch on no CNN or no Fox or NBC, any of those. You getting it here first.
You getting it live and living color.
Right. Let me catch up because they've been speaking. Okay. Let me see. Okay. J Mo said, "Do the Right Thing" is a great movie for aesthetics alone. Anthony said, fell on a lot of deaf ears though. Don said, "We've been here for 400 plus years, and they come here in 10 years and surpass us." Talking about, maybe probably
the so-called minority.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta understand. After World War, what was it? World War II, World War I? World War One. World War One was with Germany, right? Well, no, it was World War II. So when Japan and them attacked.
I think that was the first.
Yeah, that was World War One. Yeah. But when Japan attacked America and they rounded up all the Japanese and put them in concentration camps out in California,
right?
After that was all said and done, what happened? They got reparations. After World War II was over, after Germans were putting Jews in concentration camps, in the ovens and gas chambers and all that.
Right.
When that was all said and done, what they get? Reparations. You feel me? They got a country, they got a homeland.
Right.
Over in Israel.
Right.
Okay? After they enslaved us for 400 years, for nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Worked us from Kansas City
to build up this country
and make
up
it to what it is
today.
What have we received? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? We still at the bottom of the society politically, socially, economically. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of times spiritually.
Exactly. So we still at the bottom of the society. We never received what was owed to us. We never received reparation. We never received the land that they were going to give us.
Right.
We had nothing to rebuild ourselves with. You know what I'm saying? So they flushed us into the welfare system. So after they so-called abolished slavery, we ended up turning right back to the very government that enslaved us for handout, for charity relief,
right,
for welfare. That's another form of slavery. Instead of letting us become free and independent, we became indentured servants again, all over again.
Just a different kind of form.
It's another form. Yeah.
Let me see. Gosh. Let me see. Oh shoot. Man, it's so much. Okay, right. So y'all Mexicans do have their own history and background. They value themselves more than us blacks. And then Don said, how can we expect to have representation in a system that was built against us? I made the point to say Asians don't have a president or city council member and are more successful. Uh, and then bro said, King is on point. I hope you brothers are listening to Nelly for uh, uh, Neely Fuller Jr., if I'm pronouncing that right.
People listen to who? Whose brother was to? No, I never heard of him. Yeah, I mean, I listen to a lot of brothers, spiritual leaders, teachers.
And then he said Barack Obama ain't African American. He is a white man with a Nigerian father. That's not the same as niggas from Florida with a white mama.
Yeah, I mean, we can call him that, but it's obvious he is, Nigerian, or his father. No, actually, his father's Kenyan.
Oh yeah, Kenya, from Kenya. Yeah.
Right. He's not. Yeah, he didn't say Nigerian, but
Yeah, I'm saying he said Nigerian.
But his father's actually Kenyan.
Yeah.
So Kenya is in Africa, the continent of Africa. So they do consider themselves continental Africans. Okay, so if he's the seed of his father, that means he's part African. Okay, he has a European mom. So I get what you're probably saying. He has a white man's mentality.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make him a white man, quote unquote.
True.
But he does have a white Caucasian mother.
And Anthony said we hate on each other too much.
Exactly.
A few
right.
clicks,
right,
but no real unity.
Right. And I gotta say this. I know there's always been two types of blacks in this country. We had the house niggas and we had the field niggas.
Right.
You had those who went along to get along and those who rebelled.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you had the field niggas, then give a damn about that.
Yeah, like I'm out here in the shack,
right.
You up in the big house with massa.
So we always had. So now I guess you could term that today. We would say you still got two types of niggas. I wouldn't necessarily say house niggas and field niggas. You got corporate niggas and you got in the street niggas. In the street niggas and in the street niggas.
Okay?
Yeah. So so in turn you got black folks. And you got niggas, okay? You got just two types of mentality. You got those who try to work and do the right thing.
Yeah, to stay in their position.
Yeah, and then you got those who basically go against the grain.
Right.
That's the field niggas. That's the niggas in the streets. You got the industry niggas, the corporate, the executive suites niggas. They want to do it on the up and up the right way. They ain't gonna break no laws or whatever. But you got, so you still got a different mindset,
Yeah.
of black folks. You know what I'm saying? So we still, trying to make it through this corrupt system.
Yeah, this beast system.
We've been subjected to an inhumane system.
Right.
A system which is run by
systematic
fascist,
oppression.
White supremacists.
Yeah.
Basically. So that's what we're dealing with. White supremacy at its finest in America.
Let me see. Said that's what I wait. Okay, so the nation got thousands of acres of land, and we can purchase from. That's what I asked about last week, Rick. Hey, this brother knows what's up with the nation. I like him. He gave out 90,000 final call papers, talking about Mr. Faircon. Right. Said never move, didn't check his phone or go to piss.
Right. That's right. He sat through the whole ordeal from beginning to end. Yeah, didn't break a sweat. It was just humble, and after it was all over, he shook hands and took photos and was a humble man, wasn't, mad or, talking about I didn't get to speak and all that,
Right.
He was, he was cool. But you're right. And we do have, the Nation of Islam has a lot of land and whatnot, but that's the fight. You see what I'm saying? And what the minister is basically saying, if we don't unite or, and pull our resources,
right,
that we won't be able to overcome a lot of these obstacles that they're putting out here. In particularly, how the police is treating us. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because they basically saying, we pay taxes. We pay the police department, you know what I'm saying, that don't respect us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's taxation without representation. And
Mm-hmm.
every time they kill an innocent black man or
Black woman, child,
or
whatever.
disrespects us,
You're right.
we don't get no justice.
At all.
The Justice Department don't serve us justice. The higher courts don't. Nobody does nothing.
Right.
We just
It's just
still
like business as usual.
exactly. It's just like we was on the plantation.
Mm-hmm.
Those are overseers.
Right.
We call them officers. They're really overseers, overseeing the niggas to keep us in check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what the police department is here for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what our late brother Huey P. Newton used to call them, an occupying military force in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you would think since you see so many police in the inner city, it would be real safe, but it always
It's
is
just
something going
it's
on.
just the opposite.
Right.
Okay, right. Because a lot of these police officers in the community aren't from the community.
Hold on, yo.
You know. They don't live in the community. Yeah, was that old school?
Yeah, that
Okay,
was
yeah.
yeah, he's still going. Let me see. Let me catch up with these things. J Mo said, "Can you speak on the state Farrakhan attempted to create and how that compares to Liberia?"
A state he attempted to create.
I guess back in '95.
No, he
Basically,
never. No, that's not right. Exactly. He didn't never intend to, get a state, in particular, because what it was, Gaddafi. Well, what the government was saying, they was gonna loan him $5 million or something like that. So they blocked it.
yeah, because they
They
said it was a
blocked the money.
terrorist
Yeah, because
state
he said a terrorist, country was,
country.
you know, backing him. But
Mm-hmm.
what he was going to use the money to do, he wasn't going to buy guns or nothing. He was going to use the money to help educate us,
Right.
and build, I guess, more schools and he had this power program he was doing, just basically to invest in more businesses
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. That's what he was going to use the money to further the Nation of Islam,
Right.
not so much to purchase the state, but to further the growth and development of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
That's what he was going to use the money for.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Hold on, y'all. I'm about to do a quick intermission real quick. I'm back, y'all. You know, or not. I'm back. We're back. You know, it was a brief intermission that we had to take. Let me see what y'all been saying since we've been gone. You done got knocked off a place of what we was saying. Uh,
He was talking about the nation of Islam,
yeah,
the land, yeah, the
yeah,
property,
and how
whatnot,
it's
yeah.
compared to Liberia or whatever.
Right. Well, we can't compare, because that's a state that was set up by, the American government.
Mm,
Yeah, America set up Liberia. That's
mm,
their sister nation.
mm.
That's what when they decided to send us back to Africa, they set up Liberia. So they sent, a lot of us back there,
Okay.
but it didn't really work out the way they thought it was. So,
Mm,
but that is America's sister nation
mm.
in Africa.
Okay. Let's see. And then it is co-signed when you said 90,000 final calls.
It was distributed. Yeah.
Yeah, and paid for it and didn't even speak.
Mm-hmm.
Part right there.
Most definitely. So he spoke.
Downtown said he definitely he said I fucks with him, bro. He said major.
Yeah. Who? Farrakhan?
I don't know if they're saying Farrakhan or you. What was
Yeah.
the information you conveying?
I mean, they can't fuck with Farrakhan. I mean, cats be trying to hate on Farrakhan, man. As more studying, research I've done,
Huh.
man, I don't live through this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't, man, I've been studying Farrakhan, since I first heard of the man. And from what I see, the work that he done put in, and a lot of these other so-called, leaders and whatnot,
Right.
like, man, they ain't coming nowhere near what he's, putting down, producing with the Nation of Islam, as far as cleaning up the black man, cleaning up, the black woman,
Right.
and having us being, upright and stand out, citizens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And having knowledge of self.
Right.
He's bringing us back to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what we may think of him, and or Islam or Muslims, the man is self cleaning us up as a people.
Mm-hmm.
I commend him for that. I take my hat off for that one.
Huh.
You feel me? Because I'm like, if you can clean up these niggas out here in these streets,
Right.
if they decide to accept those teachings, and be on top of their square, and, stop, if these teachers teach you to stop robbing and stealing and killing, disrespecting your women, drinking and doing drugs, and you know what I'm saying, and make you upright. Hey man, you can't do nothing but respect that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's,
More so than
know?
Jesse Jackson or
yeah. I mean, not to knock Jesse because he don't, play this part too. His role is just a little different than Brother Farrakhan's. Farrakhan's a Muslim. Jesse Jackson never went down that road, but the steps that Jesse took, as far as now let's not forget, we talking about Barack Obama. Jesse Jackson was the first black man to step up and say I'm running for president.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
this country.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So what did that do to a lot of the minds of the young black men who was coming up in this society, like in our generation, thinking all we could be was athletes.
True.
I know I was one of them. I think we couldn't be nothing but boxers and football players and basketball, or be like Michael Jackson and do the moonwalk.
Right.
So but it was a man like Jesse Jackson, a black man, from America, who stood up and said, I'm running for president.
Yeah, head office.
Yeah, so whether he, was messy with this, with his campaign, which he was, that's why we call him Messy Jesse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he took a stand and gave us a whole different, image. You know what I'm saying? And he debated them white folks. You know what I'm saying? And handcuffed them like Ace. Yeah, he knew his stuff. So, so yeah, I commend him too.
Okay.
But he ain't no Farrakhan. Straight up. Right.
Let me see.
What's his name? The other man, what's his name? Al Sharpton.
Yeah, he was working with the feds though.
Well, that was on some other shit. The mob. He was involved with the mob. I mean, man, it's one thing you gotta understand about life. This is what I've learned in my short period of time being on this planet. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what's that saying? As far as power, nothing. Well, basically, I'm putting it in my words, because what I'm trying to say is, in this society, in order to have some type of power, or to really be have some quote unquote clout, and it's just almost like political power. You know what I'm saying? To be connected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta know folks. You
Okay.
gotta deal. You know,
No,
and it's just like yeah,
various
exactly. And
folks.
it's almost like yeah, we may say, oh yeah, you know, these folks is messing with these peoples and this, that, and the other. But what you got to understand is, like the feds, the FBI, and all that type of stuff,
Yeah, all the alphabets.
all them alphabet organizations, they was really designed to keep us, you know, in check.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI, they spied on J. Edgar Hoover. The SWAT teams and all that was designed to keep black folks in check. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. So when we come to a certain type of political power, you know what I'm saying. So like if you're a congressman or whatnot, you know, you're in the Senate or if you're mayor, or you're gonna have to deal with these people.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah,
you're gonna have
that's
to deal
true.
with the DEAs and the, you know, the FBI's, the CIA, you know,
ATF.
yeah, you're gonna have not only yourself, if you're in a position of power,
Mm-hmm.
Secret Servicemen.
All right.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the government shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just like we got to get out that's like a form of slave type of mentality. We feel like we can't run this government. See, if we and I heard some of the OG gangsters say like Larry Hoover and them, we need to be in them polls, which we might be like, you know, we shouldn't vote and all that, but we should be voting because now since we got a fascist like Trump, a bigot, a racist up in office, yeah, he's trying to get all this people in there, people who want to change these laws and put slavery basically back in effect, you know, wholeheartedly.
Mm.
Like straight up lock niggas up and for protesting and whatever.
Right.
Okay? So we have to become more political.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And aware of what's going on around us.
Yeah,
We can't just be stuck on, you know, religion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or well, that's all good. You know, if that's gonna help you, you know, mentally, spiritually, and morally,
balance
and whatever, that's all good.
spiritual.
I ain't knocking that. But I'm just saying, but as far as in the society, we gotta become a part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? All these brothers out here, like, you know, shooting up each other, whatever, toting these guns illegally.
You're right.
Why don't you get involved in an organization or go to school, get an education, and where you can tote a gun legally? You know what I'm saying?
Now, tell me this about the gun part, because I done heard about how what's been going on in Chicago. People have been saying there've been guns just dropped in the community.
Well, they've been
and things
doing
like
that.
that.
They did that in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
in California.
Yeah, them
back
trains.
In the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, they did that in the 90s.
Right.
That's nothing new. That's an old tactic. That's new in Chicago, but they ain't new on the West Coast. They did that back, you know, in the 70s, in the 80s. You know, you know, drop drugs off of everything. You know, right? You know, and they knew where it was at. It was in the community. So basically what I'm saying is we need to become more a part of the system instead of going against it. You feel what I'm saying? We need to become the policemen in our communities. You feel me?
Yeah.
We need to become, you know, the police chiefs. You know, like one of our brothers, you know, like Arredondo, and you know, but we need more brothers from the community that's gonna be like, okay, I want to serve my community.
Right.
Okay, not just serve dope and be pimping and you know what I'm saying? I want to be a policeman. I want to be the you know, the fireman,
District attorney or something.
You know, the congressman. You know, the mayor.
The mayor.
You feel me?
Even the garbage man, whatever.
Or whatever, man. We need to become more, you know, involved in our community on that level. See, we've been, you know, on the street level, on the, you know, on the underground level, as far as all the other madness. Let's do something more constructive.
Wait a minute, you see that?
So where?
Hold on, let me get this.
I need my. Yeah, leave it.
Just leave it.
Leave it alone.
Okay.
Yeah. We need some King Sherm.
You said, "What's up? Where's my partner, my P partner, King Sherm? I don't know. Where is he? He's not on this channel. I think he done tuned into the wrong channel because he's not located here no more.
Okay, right.
YouTube's a big network. This is the wrong place to find that particular individual. Okay,
What's
so
his channel? King Sherm?
yeah,
Yeah, what's that? You need to tune in to King Sherm
Right,
channel.
right. This ain't King Sherm
Reach
channel.
out and touch him.
Mm-hmm.
It's King Rychus over this way,
Right,
man.
King Rychus.
For the record and the money.
360 degrees of some good knowledge. You used to come here for the game.
Huh?
You still game here. Just not, one particular game.
What game?
What game?
you
Yeah,
talking
that's what I want to know, because there's always been game on here.
about? What game you playing?
Yeah,
man?
come on.
You're right.
This might end up being comedy night.
Right. Comedy Central.
Right. You got to elaborate on that
what
one.
game you talking about? We know what game Sherm playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He ain't fooling nobody.
But yeah, I guess, earlier, Anthony was say that, King Righteous, when you were speaking earlier
What's that?
about, what you were just, before we got,
distracted.
Right.
Right.
Make sure I didn't miss any other comments people were saying.
I mean, it's all good, y'all. Knowledge is the key. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge of self, to me, is the knowledge of God. The knowledge of God is knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, so this is where Sherm was dropping game. Well, like I said, you could type King Sherm into your search box and you'll be able to find his channel. He's not located here no more.
What game you talking about?
Yeah, that's another
See, he
thing.
was dropping game.
Elaborate what game you're talking about.
When y'all was talking, what game was he talking? The same shit?
I guess so.
Right.
I don't label it comedy. That's comedy.
Bullshit.
I don't do that kind of comedy no more on here. With that individual, should I say.
That shit he been talking for the last 20 years.
Huh.
Come on, man. It's time for mind elevation.
Right.
Understand? That's what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the game is about. It ain't about being on that, pretty Tony, Goldie the Mac shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not to knock my brothers, but that was what was that? Black exploitation films, man.
Yeah,
Niggas
was it
stuck on-
1973?
Yeah, niggas stuck on Superfly, man. Shit.
You see, Donna say,
And I met
oh,
Mac.
okay. Donna said, stay clean, Reek. You don't even got to go into that. I fuck with both of y'all, P. And then Anthony said, Eminem versus MGK, Okie Dokie Deflection, Social Conditioning. Yeah.
Who was that?
And then he said, man, how you going to knock Sherm like that?
Who was that?
That dude, Daddy Pop.
Ain't nobody knocking them. It is what it is, man.
Hmm.
It's a whole different era now, man.
Mhm.
For real. I mean, ain't nobody knocking Sherm. I know him. I know him personally. I know cats that know him. Grew up, watched him grow up. My OGs. So I ain't gotta knock him. I ain't gotta knock step on number 2 to become number 1.
Right.
You know what I mean? Straight up. I paid my dues.
Huh.
You straight up ask about me. They might give you 4, 5 different ghetto names, man, when you ask about me.
Right.
They be like, oh, that's nigga from that position, or he played that position and that position. That one, you're right.
Right.
Like Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bo knows.
Now, Anthony said Kaepernick and Nike, okie dokie propaganda deflection, social conditioning.
Yeah, he sound like a clown to me. Yeah.
What, the Kaepernick situation?
No, what he said? Okay, what?
Because he's saying they put that up there, to like, think about what's going on with
No, I'm
Kaepernick
talking
and
about,
Nike.
No, I'm talking about what he was talking about Sherm.
Okay.
Sound like some clown shit to me.
Oh, yeah. Now he
Ain't
said
no-
that's errors in the game. I guess he
Ain't
just
no
said
heirs. Who heirs? I'm my own heir.
that.
For real. You're right. They crowned me.
Mm-hmm.
Then down me.
Right.
I ain't know nothing about no Sherm.
Right?
I gained my crown of my own.
Mhm.
Heirs to what? Shit. Got my own throne, man.
Right.
For real. Yeah, straight up.
So let's say it like this.
Sherm.
I mean, I know we're covering
Please.
stuff to uplift brothers on a mental
Mentally
code, but you don't touch
yeah,
that area to know about that.
I mean, yeah.
Because you know how some people are, you
tripping.
can't speak on that because you
I
never
can
did
speak
it or
on
something.
Yeah, right. You know, I've been about that life, man. Ain't no mystery to me.
Who is this
You know
new dude, Reek? He's not new. He's been around. What you talking about? He's
Right.
not new. He's not a youngster. So, I mean, come on. I'm not a youngster. Shoot. Okay, get your Mac bone cracking like before the advert of AOL.
See, that's what niggas want you to be stuck on.
Yeah, because we were elevating it, and this came in here like...
No, man, they want you to be stuck on that elementary school shit. That's elementary school shit.
Mm-hmm.
Junior high school shit, let me tell it, man, for real. I'm way above that, man, for real.
Right.
You know, way above junior high school, and the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Right, so all that old, you know, the pimp a bitch shit, right, that's elementary to me, man, for real talk.
Because I look at it, if you got game, you shouldn't even have to explain how that's gonna transpire of you being successful. I just say that successful.
Right. It's like, you know, just like he was saying, you know, a little bit of salt he was throwing on you. Like, I'm like, it's a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why you even got to go there? You feel me? You know, I mean, who you are is who you are. You two different individuals, first of all. So whatever, you know, static or beef y'all got, that's between y'all. Like you say, if he says something about you and you can, you know, confront him and he don't confront you as a man, then there ain't nothing else to talk about.
Exactly.
You feel me? Because of what I'm from, if I had a problem, I address it. So straight up, hands on. So if the funk is on, the funk is on.
Right.
That's where I come from, man. I was gang affiliated, whole associated, and I was pimp dedicated. You know what I'm saying? So pimping to me don't just mean put it in my pocket or just checking a bitch and telling. No, it means, you know, power, I master power. You know what I'm saying? The game I got or what are the skills, the talent, I master that. That's what pimping mean to me.
Right.
Or when I was pimping a woman, a female, you know, I was pimping. I wasn't just a pimp. I was like, you know, so when you add the ing, that was I'm not going. I was sending the bitch, right? For real. I was pimping. I wasn't just no PIMP. You feel me? I was pimping for real. So I went, you know, cross country with it and all that. You know what I'm saying? So and it's just that's one level. That's the base level of the game.
Right.
Okay? You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? But as far as all that other stuff, you know, cats running off at the mouth and you know, thinking they just that, yeah, we dealt with that type of, you know, stuff. You know what I'm saying? From being on some real G shit. Yeah, because, you know, if you was true to the game, we know we could drop that P and pick up the G real quick, man. For real. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it wasn't no problem.
Right.
Okay? That's the era I come from. You know, I come from the New Jack era. That was the 80s.
Right.
I used to run with high rollers as a shorty, you know, and all that. You know, that's where I learned the game from in the late 80s, from 86 is when I even owned. Okay? Now, yeah, I ain't no New Jack, man, for real.
Well, I'll just say like this.
You know what I'm saying?
I got rid of the lullabies. And we kicking real shit around here. Now, if you want to go...
It's real game, man.
Right.
Yeah, this chess, not checkers, man, for real.
If you want to go hear the lullabies, it's out there, you know.
Go to the other channel.
Right.
Go to the lullaby channel.
Exactly.
Right, that's what you do. Right. Because this is the art of human chess players over here, man. Right, this ain't hopscotch.
Okay, so if you feeling some kind of anal retentive way, I mean, you don't have to even be in his comments. I'm Grayson, not to block you. I'm just trying to see if you got a real genuine point out here, but you just...
I knew he was gonna clown. I mean, I told you to leave him on it, right?
Yeah.
I knew some clown shit was gonna come along with it.
Right.
I felt it. Remember we used to build on. Remember we was talking about War and Peace?
Yep, War and Peace.
Same,
Right.
This is what it is.
Right.
We can't have no peaceful conversation without having some negativity come in. That's natural.
Right.
That brings balance. That's why I said leave
That let you know we're on our job.
You're on point. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right, you're on point. Because you gotta have opposition, man.
Right.
If you ain't got no opposition, you ain't really talking about
you ain't talking about nothing, you ain't rising.
Exactly. So that don't faze me. You know? That's a peon to a don, man. Real talk.
Right.
Talk about new nigga, man. Come to my town, come to my city. I'll show you. Right. It's like, oh, you with him? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't understand it.
And it's not
You say you speaking the truth. You speaking the truth. I don't understand. I don't
That's the one
comprehend
was
that.
talking about Rick. I mean, not Rick. I mean, that's the one was talking about.
About
Yeah.
he yeah.
It might be him. Never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah. It could be one of these little cronies.
Cronies.
Right. Okay, so, but it is what it is.
Right. And Anthony says, "Say that, King Rychus." He's agreeing with you.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna waste no more time on that, man.
Right.
We bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know
So.
what I'm saying? So.
Man, let me go back to what we were really talking about.
Back to some
man.
Shit, man. Damn, he done threw us off. But it's good. That's good exercise.
Yeah.
We did some mental calisthenics, man.
Mm-hmm.
With him.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yes.
And J-Mo said my last comment was
why you speaking on another man anyway?
Yeah.
Why let him? Yeah. Oh, man, please.
Yeah, that comes off. What's the word I'm looking for?
Homo shit.
Homosexual.
Right. That's a homo shit to me.
Right.
Man. For real. This ain't the homo section.
Right. Right.
We love ladies.
That's the totally
man.
wrong channel. Shoot.
We love ladies over here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Homos. Right.
No, you don't want to see. Look. You saying all this negative stuff, but you speaking about yourself.
When we come back with it, you can't handle it.
Right.
Right.
So now you using unnecessary explicit. He said, "Shut. Let me because I don't want to say it over the mic."
Yeah, it's all good though.
Right.
We ain't tripping off you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I said,
You can tell the game goofy.
Right. They ain't recognized game, man.
Right.
You know.
It's nothing.
Small change to a giant.
Huh. And Anthony English said, Tommy Sotomayor. I don't know. I've never checked out his channel. I heard about him, but I've never checked his channel.
He's asking about Tommy Sotomayor.
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
Oh, Thomas Sotomayor. He's a different type of cat. He's from the West Coast. He's from where he from? Phoenix, I believe. He live in Phoenix. I think Phoenix, Arizona. I listened to him a few times, but he got this thing called the B200. It's like a machine from some movie that he got this machine that he describes black women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right, and it's funny too. Yeah, I mean you might have to check him out. You know, but see, I don't agree necessarily with everything you be saying, but what he says about particular black women is true about how they think, their attitude. You know, the ratchet ones, the hood rats,
right.
Or what we used to call, the hood rats, the alley cats. Okay, that act and think a certain way, and he's telling the truth. Right. And he'll tell you, well, if I'm lying, why am I getting these videos about these women doing all this ratchet type of stuff? You know, having this crazy type of behavior.
Right.
And so he's interesting, you know. I mean, and some of the stuff he just have on there, man, our black women is just, you know, and a lot of us don't speak on that. We don't speak about our black women being out of pocket, or our women in particular. You know what I'm saying? And they, you know, and from what I've learned and what I've experienced, our women got some issues.
Right.
They got some serious issues that need to be addressed, and they not only need to be dealt with, but they need to be addressed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Basically, Anthony English saying, dude is that person you're talking about, because I guess he must have went through his thing and checked it. But you know, I knocked him off the channel. So
who?
Dude that was saying all that craziness, that Daddy Pop or whatever he went by, whatever alias he went by.
Shoe shine, man. Little crony.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right, that's one of his cronies. Probably was him.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell it, right.
And thank you for them thumbs up so far. You know, I'm enjoying it. You know, hopefully we don't get no. I mean, like you said,
it comes with the territory.
It comes
man,
with the territory.
You know, It's,
Like Anthony just said, these niggas is agents, most
probably,
definitely.
yeah, but I don't fear no man.
Nah,
I fear, so like you said, if he couldn't confront you, if he had issues with you and he couldn't confront you when you brought it to him like a man,
mm-hmm,
then that just shows you who you are.
right,
You a sissy, you a coward. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, so just quit talking, man.
right,
Yeah. Other than that, you know.
and keep unknown, keep people you don't know lips off your mouth because you don't know what you're inviting when you do that
Exactly.
kind of stuff.
Right.
Cause like you said, he knows who you are, but do you really know who he is?
Right.
Come on. And that goes for anybody else that listens, because like I said, there's many other people that hear what people profess and they don't like hearing that. They call me up like, well, man, what's up with this dude? Why is this dude running his mouth? I don't like what I'm hearing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So let's get back to the science hour instead of,
Right.
talking about nursery rhymes. Yeah, comedy hour,
and
nursery rhymes and things.
Yeah, this is the truth hour, man. Don't touch that dial.
Right.
Just stay tuned in to the truth hour.
Anthony said, I got to pull up to Minneapolis, St. Paul one day. Yeah, it's cool up here. Maybe not in January, but
I mean, yeah, it's a little, you can make some happenings.
Yeah.
Depends on what you like to do.
True.
You can make some happenings. Go to the malls, hang out. A lot of honeys at the malls, whatever.
Right. Dick Jones said, what's up? Top of it. What's going on with you? I ain't seen you. I don't think I've seen you in here before. I'll just say Jones.
As far as social, atmosphere though, the movies, the lakes.
Yeah, in the summertime, springtime.
So
land of 10,000 of them.
Yeah, you just gotta make your happenings, man. Get in where you fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't fit in, squeeze in.
Huh. Definitely.
Other than that, Minneapolis is a cool place. Just gotta know, where you at. Don't get caught up in bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of haters out here, man.
It surely is.
It'll bring some drama to you.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
Yeah.
So you just gotta know how to move.
Oh, you been here before? Well, have you changed your picture or something? Because it just, I don't know. Maybe you just haven't been in here in a little minute. It'd be so many people popping in every now and then. I'd be, And now Anthony said, dig that. I heard the Mall of America be lit.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
I'll say it like this. The Mall of America now versus when it first opened is totally different.
Yeah, the 90s.
Yeah.
90s, 2000, yeah, it was live.
Yeah, especially when it was Camp Snoopy. Everybody used to hang out at the bottom of it at the nighttime hour.
We had the game room upstairs.
Right.
Yeah, it was live. I mean, Minnesota used to be really live, man. Let's not get it twisted, man. Let's not forget we had the world champion twins around here in '86. 91.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we had parades going on around this bitch, right?
Yeah, I guess Anthony is saying that to him. That was this other person, I guess, the one you was just talking about. That was trying to say, get something started by, saying all that negative.
Bozo.
Yeah.
Bozo clown. Yeah, I knew it was something as soon as he asked about.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. You ain't heard him once since you've been on the channel, but you're going to ask about him.
Right.
I don't know, he's somewhere in the wind or somewhere with a shine box. Right, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
Let's clear that up. All right, let me clear it. A lot of people are like, oh, you hate by saying that. But how can you hate when you're telling something that's actually the truth?
It's not hating. Shit, that's how I met him. Man, shine shoes. Shit, ain't hating.
Right.
He make money.
Right.
I ain't knocking his hustle.
Right.
I'm just saying, that's what he do.
That's what he do.
And, but as far as pimping and all that, I heard different. With some cats that watched him grew up. Yeah. Right. He's talking that talk, man. For real, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, like I said, once I was in, Good fellas. Like,
Yeah, man.
give you a hell of a shine.
Make your shoes look like fucking mirrors.
Mirrors.
That was Tommy. Yeah, that was my dude.
Yeah.
He was like, no, that was Bats.
Yeah.
Bats.
Billy
Like,
Bats. Yeah.
Bats. Man, this guy, hey man, you make his shoes like fucking mirrors. Man, they just crack it up.
Go home and get your fucking shine.
He's like, I don't know if you heard, man, y'all outside shoes no more. Yeah, you've been gone for a while.
Yeah. So don't get big on me.
Yeah, I'm just breaking your balls.
Right.
You ain't guy wanna get fresh with me. I'm just breaking his balls.
Mm-hmm.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box. That's my boy. You a baby go
Right. Just for that part. Wait, let me go
Right.
right to that part.
Yeah, that was some gangster shit there.
Mhm.
Man, you know, I used to watch that movie religiously, man, back in my younger years.
I did
back
too.
in 93. I'm telling you, no, real. When I say religiously, it's like grandma reading the Bible in the morning before she go to bed and every day. I used to watch that movie just religious because that's just the mindset I was in.
Right.
You know, I mean, I would watch it in the morning, get up, go handle my business, come back to the house. I'm just chilling. I'll get on the couch, throw Goodfellas in.
Right.
You know, come back, I'm throwing them. That's all I watch.
Yeah, my part. I know you know this part. And then he threw me out of the car. And he's sitting in there looking at rearview mirror like, yeah.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Whack, 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 whack.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the movie.
Yeah, Anthony said topics got derailed through distraction. Haters trying to stop the flow of the show. Yeah, because we were dropping signs. You see the title, modern day slavery. Right. They trying to keep you pulled into that, like
mental slavery. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, they took the chains off us physically, but they don't put them on our brains. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got chains on our brains. You know.
Right.
We're mental slaves. We're dealing with something called post-traumatic slave syndrome. Okay.
Right. See.
But no, they can't stop it. I mean, if you didn't put this in motion, you can't stop it.
Exactly.
That's my point. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna stop something you didn't even put in motion?
Right.
That's impossible, man. For real. You know.
Yeah, Anthony cracking up. Let me see.
Man. Because I was thinking, I was like, man, I got introduced. You know, I jumped off the porch. Actually, I jumped off the porch when I was about 12.
Okay.
You know, when I started coming downtown.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just, doing my little, shorty thing,
Right.
But I was in the shit. I was, had my little money, my paper route money.
Mm-hmm.
I always been on the grind.
Right.
And, but once I got about 18, that's when I got introduced. That's when I moved over here off of Golden Valley Road with my sisters. That's when I got introduced to the game.
Right.
Introduced to it. But I was, I was green. You know what I'm saying? But by 89, yeah, I was on the concrete, man. I was up and down. I was one of them shorties up and down Lindale's. But I always, for some reason, I always kept me a job.
Yeah.
Even though I was a little hustler, I always kept me a job. That was just pastime shit.
Right.
Hustling. But I worked at New Market. Remember New Market?
Yeah, I remember New Market.
I worked up there. I bagged groceries. And I always had me a hustle.
Now, what would you say to people? Oh, that's sacrilegious. You worked a square job. What's that about?
Oh, no, man. That's real game, actually.
Okay.
A real player. I ain't just talking about no pimping.
Right.
I'm just talking about a real player, man.
Right.
Going, which I said, and pimp also stands for player in motion, making progress. Okay? So I'm just putting in those terms. See, it's how you define words.
Right.
What makes you, who you are. So, I mean, I've always been a young player in motion. That's why I made, progress. Only way I could be held back is I allowed myself to be held back. Because I was seasoned. I was given the game at a young age. 5, 6 years old. I was taught how to hustle, how to grind. My uncle took me under his wing.
Yeah.
Okay? So, no, as far as job, that's real game. Work. You don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't got any quote-unquote game about yourself, if you can't, because a lot of cats couldn't play these streets. A lot of cats couldn't run around these corners and get away with a lot of shit that some other cats did. You know what I'm saying? They probably get their whole car pulled real quick. You know what I'm saying? And but some people was just cut, from these streets. They was made for the streets, and they just knew how to maneuver through them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but a job is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you got a talent, if you got skills, you take that, you use that talent, and you make it happen for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Hey. Shit, I think. Let me see. I think that. Hey,
Who?
these agents.
It's
Where does
probably,
do that?
it's probably him. Yeah, I think now, because we ain't never had that. As long as I've been, chopping it up with you.
Right.
We ain't never had nobody coming in here talking about no King Sherm.
Right.
Hey, for real. Don't he got a channel? I mean,
Yeah, he got a
right.
channel.
So what's the right?
Mm-hmm.
All he got to do is punch in King Sherm, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like, I guess, people are upset that, why you start messing with this person? I mean, everybody got the right to, do whatever they want to do, you know? I produced a lot of those past videos. I took them all down. I felt they were unnecessary. So, I mean,
that's what he was
why are you getting bitter about?
it?
Yeah, he's upset about that. You erased my whole thing. Now I got to make all these 60-second videos because,
By myself.
Yeah. Like, man.
Right. Yeah,
it's all right, though. But, hey, I'm glad y'all joined in.
We've been on here for how long?
I'm about 76 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
We about to wrap it up. We'll come on another time. Hopefully, all this, distractions will
extracurricular activities
right
will take place. But it's all love, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll just say that, for the game's sake, steel sharp steel. Man sharpen man like steel sharpen steel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, even though, cats were trying to, dull us up, with all that, other shit.
Yeah, that
stuff.
little sideways stuff.
We sharpened that up. So maybe, we sharpened him up a little bit so he get his mind right and get his game tight so he won't come out, with that old, bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He'll be on point and talk about some real shit instead of all that, BS. So, so it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because the strong gonna survive and the real niggas gonna stay alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So on that note, I'm saying peace.
We up out of here.
Right.